Hello everybody, welcome back. In the last video, I downloaded the Jupyter notebook to a Python file. It went into my downloads folder in my computer, which is where it went in this particular case. And I cut the file and I pasted it in under the same subdirectory where I'm saving the Jupyter notebooks. Okay, it's in my modules subdirectory under my Python class, this class. All right. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to open Spyder, and I already opened it for you here to save you some time. I go to Spyder, and remember with Spyder you have to be very careful to make sure you know where you're pointing to. So here is pointing to this Python subdirectory. Well, that is not where I'm storing my stuff. And I ran before a pwd on the console, and you can see it's pointing to the Python subdirectory. Well, I don't want to go there. I want to go to my class subdirectory. So what I'm going to need to do, I can do it from my console, but easy to do it visually. I'm going to go to this navigator right here, and I'm going to open it right there. And I'm going to navigate to where I have my stuff in this Python. CEIS110 Python March 2024 and under modules. All right. And this is where I'm going to select. This is the folder I'm going to select. So I'm going here. Okay. So now I am pointing to the place where I want to get my file that I'm going to work with. Now here's the next trick. So I'm going to show you this one more time. In the console, I have three panes. The pane on the left is where I'm going to put my code. And this tabs right here, I can have multiple programs running at the same time. All right, multiple programs running at the same time. So you have the code over here. Then here at the bottom you have your console where you can do all kinds of commands, and it's counting the commands, so you can actually use it to write commands, and sometimes there's going to be an interaction between the code and your console. But this is the one that I want you to pay close attention here. The one on the upper right hand side. The upper right hand side has a lot of information for you. It has a variable explorer. That's where you're going to see your variables. Since we are not running anything yet, I don't have any variables, but you will see when we start running code. Another one is files, and that's the one that I'm interested in right now. There are a couple more plots and help. So there are some interesting ones that you will be learning as you go along in this course. So let's go to files, because I just moved to these files. And voila, now you see a lot of files right here. That's good enough right there. I have the files. This is the one that I was working on before, CEIS Lesson 1 Python Intro IPYNB. That's the one that I had when I was working with you right here. There it is, CEIS 110 Lesson 1 Python Intro IPYNB. But remember, I went on to download it as Python. I did that already, and I copied the file, I moved it, and now it's a py file. So you can see it right here next to it. So you can see it right here. These two files, they have the same name except for, let me do it one more time. They have the same name except for the extension of the name, which is one is IPYNB for the Jupyter notebook, and the other one is PY for Python. So that's the one I will be able to open using Spyder in the traditional sense. And Spyder is very tricky too. Spyder actually, there are ways to open that IPYNB, but I don't want to start doing that because there is actually a notebook play in Spyder. But the notebook king is Jupyter. So let's keep the notebooks on Jupyter for now. As you get more advanced, you will find out about the notebooks in Spyder. For now, we're going to learn Spyder from the editor's perspective. The editor's perspective, which is what we are showing right here in this pane. So I want to put this file inside this pane, right? That's what I want to do. So to do that, very simply, I'm just going to double click on it. So let me get my pointer to double click. And there you go. And now it opened it. It was very smart to translate what I did in my Python Jupyter notebook and converted it into code for this Python program. So as you can see, the code is there. It actually took it literally what I had in the documentation. Let me show you. This table right here looks complicated. I'm going to delete it from here. It's complicated here, but it's not complicated when you look at the Jupyter notebook, because in the Jupyter notebook, that is this table right here. In fact, if I double click here, you will see all of those code of Markdown is right there. But I don't want you to worry about that too much. I just want you to be aware of it, that I just copied also a lot of Markdown into my Jupyter notebook. It doesn't matter. It's all commented out, so it's not going to create any problem. Let's ignore it for now. I'm going to delete it eventually, but let's ignore it for now. Where the code starts is right here, right here. So it was also smart enough to create cells for me. See, you notice that when I click in here, I highlight this code right here because I can run those cells one cell at a time. With these run buttons from Spyder, I can choose to run the entire program, or one cell at a time, or one line at a time. See, if I hover over this, if I go here, it's run the entire file. If I go here, you see where I'm pointing? This one says run current cell, which is this. This is one cell. You see, you can choose the colors that you want, by the way. Those are, you know, it's part of your profile or your choices. My choices are white with nice pastel colors, but it's just a matter of my choice. Anybody can change the colors. What's important is that it changed colors because it's showing you the colors of that cell. So I can run this cell by clicking here. You see on the top? Let me use the pencil so you can see. I can click here and I will run this cell. That's one cell. All right, I can do that. So how about if we do that? Let me get the pointer and I'm going to run that cell. All right, so the cell ran and it did a print here. Where did the print go? It went to the console. So when I did print, that print went right here. So you can see Apple 10 0.75 right there. And that is what that command was telling it to do. But it did something else. It took the names of these variables and the values of these variables. So if I go to Variable Explorer here, right? If I show you one more time, the Variable Explorer, and the Variable Explorer is this right here. I have to go there. I'm in Files right now, but I can go to Variable Explorer. If I go to Variable Explorer right here, I can see that I have variables. See, this is so powerful, Spyder, right? You don't see that very easily on Jupyter Notebook. Jupyter Notebook, there are ways to do this, but it's a little bit more hand handling. You have to do other things. With a powerful tool like Spyder, you can see your variables right there. So now I know that right here, Apple's count is an integer, size 1, and is 10, the number 10. You see? And Apple's name is a string is Apple, and Apple's price is a float number, and it's 0.075. That's beautiful, right? That's beautiful, because now I have more information than I had. So the next cell, this one right here, I'm going to run it. All it's doing is asking for the value of Apple's names. I don't really need it. I needed it in Jupyter Notebook because I didn't see it. It was invisible to me. But here I can see it. Apple's name is Apple. But let's run it anyway. And it comes right here on the bottom right. You can see it right here. Now the next one is apples count. So I can run all of the same cells one by one. All right. Then values of apples, which is apples count plus times apples price. I'm going to run that, and what's going to happen here, not only did it print the result right here at the bottom, as you can see, right here at the bottom, not only did it do that, but it also added my values of apples as another variable with that is float with the number 7.5, which is 10 times 0.75 is 7.5. It's right here. So this values apples went right there, and this print went right here. All right, so you can see it, and I can run the rest of the program. I'm just going to do it quickly just to save you some time. I'm going to go to the next one. It just printed 7.5. Here I'm going to get oranges. So there I got more variables: oranges count, oranges name, oranges price, and the values and the type of variable that it is. Then I'm going to do a sum. I run that cell, and the sum is total fruit. Total fruit is right here, and it's 30. It's 30. And apples plus oranges, I'm just going to do it right here. It's not going to change the values. It's just going to do something on the console. And the 30 comes here on the console. And now you get the idea, right? You can run the same. All right. And then I have comments right here. Oh, another print. There's another print. And then it says print. I ate some apples, so my total is now 7. It's right there. You can see the results right here. Okay. So what I'm going to do before I save it, like I said before, I'm going to delete this. What happens if I run this? Nothing to execute. So I'm going to delete these comments. It is not that meaningful inside my Python program. It is very meaningful inside my Jupyter Notebook. I'm going to delete this, right? And the rest I'm going to save. And when I do the update on my GitHub, and then you do your update on your side, you will see this file. So for now, we're good. So now you have the same program, but using Spyder, using a py file. All right, take care.